Good morning or afternoon, whenever your class is. Great to see you again. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Today we're going to be learning how to make our own beat. And this week's project is going to be making your own beats. Now when I say a beat, a lot of you guys might have an idea in your mind that a beat is just the thing that goes on behind a rap song. That is not true. And that has a bad rap to it. What I talk about when I say a beat is I'm talking about the drums in a song. So we're going to make our own drums in a song, and I'm going to show you the parts of a beat that you need to know to make a beat sound decent. Okay? So you're going to open up GarageBand first, new empty project. You're going to start with your software instrument. Come over to the electronic drum sounds and go ahead and pick one that you like. Okay? I know that I like when I'm trying to make a beat, I like to work a little slower than 120. That's a little fast. So I like to go a little slower. I'll bring it down to 80. Bam. So 80 is about here. All right. So the first thing that you need to know about a beat to make it sound good is that the snare drum sound that you record, and I'm just switching my program select on my MIDI keyboard right now. I'm hitting program select, then hitting beat pad 6 to get these sounds out. So you'll have that second beat pad blinking at the top once you select it. You're going to worry about your snare drum sound first. Now I'm going to teach you what's called a backbeat today. A backbeat is when you play your snare drum. I'm going to zoom in here so I can show you these different beats. It's when you play your snare drum on beats 2 and 4 of every measure. That's called a backbeat. So I'm going to record my backbeat right now. Cool. So this is your backbeat. Now last week I showed you how to quantize, where you select all these, then you hit the Q. If you look really closely in here, I'm going to zoom this in so you can see every single beat that I did. You want to zoom in as close to where you can see 2, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. You can see that this is a little bit off, right? This one's a little bit off the line. You want to move it directly onto that line. Now you see how this one is shorter than these? You can extend this out to make them sound better. So I'm going to just drag all these onto the beats that they need to be on and extend them out to this first line. So now it'll sound a little more uniform. All the snare drum sounds sound exactly the same. So that's how you make your backbeat. Now that's the first part of your beat that needs to be there. That is totally not negotiable for this project. You need a backbeat in your beat. You can add more stuff. The rest of it is going to be up to you, but one of the only requirements that I want you to have is the snare drum on beats 2 and 4 of however long your beat is. So if you're going to redo your beat, you're going to add more to it. Say it's more than 2 bars, it's like 4 bars or something. Let this go. If it's 4 bars, you do 4 full bars of a backbeat. Whatever's going on in your beat, there needs to be a backbeat. Cool. Easy as that. Alright, I just edited all those so they're the same length. Now, here comes the fun stuff. You can add whatever bass drum and hi-hat sounds you want. So if you're using the same pads as we did last time to make our drum beats, Pad number 2 is going to be your bass drum sound, and pad number 3 is going to be your hi-hat sound. So I'm just going to get creative with the bass drum sounds, and you're going to have to trial and error with these. I'm a drummer, so the bass drum part of this and this is will come a little easier to me than it will to you. So I'll probably do something the first time and it will sound okay. You might not do something the first time and it sounds okay. It's okay to go back and delete what you did. So I'm going to show you this time what happens if you make a mistake. So I'll make a couple mistakes. Recording bass drum. Cool. So you'll hear there's one section where I just hit the keys a bunch of times. I'm going to listen back and try to find where that is. Cool. So I found what I didn't like. These couple beats. If I want to take something out, I click on the thing that I did, and then I hit the delete button on my keyboard, and it will go away. Now you can do the same thing with these if you want to be very particular. Bass drum sounds are a little easier, so they don't need to be as long. If you want them to be, you can make them the same length as your snare drum sounds, but they'll be fine the way they are. I would quantize your bass drum sounds for sure. Oops. Quantize. So now that I quantize it, it'll sound a little different. Cool. Simple as that. Right, I'm going to delete this little extra thing I showed you before because I just want to work with 2 bars. So this is my bass drum and snare drum sounds. Great. Next, I'm going to record my hi-hat sound, which is pad 3. Now, with your hi-hat, you can either make it steady in any way, as long as it's to the steady beat. It can be steady. Or you can make it interesting. A lot of typical hip-hop beats, especially nowadays, make their hi-hats very interesting and sometimes really fast. You'll hear that. That type of sound in a lot of hip-hop beats nowadays. But it's not necessary to make your hi-hats that way. If you'd like to, great, go for it. But if it's too difficult, then you can always just keep it steady. I'll show you one time through, steady, and then one time through, interesting. Here's the steady one. Cool. You just go in and delete the ones you don't want. Quantize it if you want. Bang. Now it'll sound like this. All right. Lovely. I'm going to select those, and I'm going to show you a more difficult one now. Cool. So when you're recording more difficult things, sometimes it doesn't sound perfect on your first try, like this won't. That last part of it, I don't really like this last part. So I'm going to take the whole line that I did and delete it and try it again. It's part of the process, guys. Trial and error. Cool. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, I'll take it. Sounds good enough for me. Something that's usually this fast, sometimes you'll have to quantize to a different degree. So let me show you one more time. I'm going to record something else, and I'll show you how to quantize something really fast. So if you do something that's got a lot of notes like this, you might need to turn your quantize number up. We haven't really done that yet. So this number has a lot of different options. Yeah? You don't really need to know what all of these mean. If you do, you'll probably understand it a little bit more, but for now, all you're going to work with are these top ones. That 16th note one is the default setting. For this, I'm actually playing something a little faster, so I might want to put it on 32nd note, and I'll quantize it to that. So now take a listen. It'll get out that human error. Awesome. Now once I'm good with it, I'll loop it. I'll see if I like it looped. Now you can always add more sounds to it than that. Say I want to add some of these interesting little open hi-hat sounds to it. I can. Those are easier. Let's record over it again. Yeah, see if I like it. Something sounds weird with these. Don't really like it. And we're going to get interrupted. Hey, 1 second. Can you give me 1 second? So that's the lesson for this week. If you have any other questions, let me know. All you have to do is complete a beat with a bass drum, hi-hat created yourself, and the snare drum on the backbeat. If you want to add more snare drum, you can, but you at least have to have a backbeat. Any more questions, let me know. All right, happy music.